Looks like we are on and live. Welcome everybody, Mike Anderson here with the 1% Solution and Living Motion Monograms. Today we're going to be testing out the new software for the live streaming. Something that I've been wanting to set up for quite some time and make it, basically make it available to where we were able to do some live sessions to answer people's questions about pretty much everything, monograms, projectors, gear, you name it. And I think we'll be able to do it. And so on this, I wanted to kind of start off, and feel free during this thing to go ahead and give me some feedback on anything that you guys hear or what looks good or what doesn't look good. So I can make some adjustments on all of this. And give it a shot. And we are going to let's see if we can get the audio of it. All right, there we are. Hey, what's going on, DJ Polito? Is it? I probably completely got that wrong. The pronunciation of that. All right, as you guys are in here, go ahead and give me some feedback on how the image quality is and stuff. We're also going to be going over some any questions you guys have, even about Photoshop and stuff. So I think that'll help out quite a bit. In fact, we'll get into that right here. I know one of the questions people have a lot is, how do you set up like a brand new template when it comes to designing a monogram? And I guess the first question you're gonna have to ask yourself is, what is the projector itself, what's it capable of producing? So looking and sounding good. All right, awesome. Okay, what's do me a favor, guys, put in the chat like what projector you are currently using, because I want to we'll look up someone else's projector and I'll give you guys some specs on how to make a design. Basic set. Can you explain the basic setup on how a monogram and projector works and the steps involved? I know the Michael, the 515, the 516. When did they come out with the 516? That'd be awesome. Let's you mean the 416? Yeah, the 416 is pretty cool too. So we'll start off with, Brad's got a really great question there, and it's explain the basics on how monogram and projectors work and the steps involved. Basically, I think it all comes down to understanding what a projector does. And, you know, we know that it's a light source. We can control what it projects, and pretty much it can do any color out there. So we know we can, you know, project with it, obviously. When it comes to monograms, we're just doing exactly the same thing as a, you know, Source 4 or any other basic light was able to do, because we're, instead of using like a steel gobo to block the light, what we're doing is we're actually creating, we're using just black tone on our slides and our design to actually make it to where we're blocking the light in the projector. And what I mean by that is, if we bring up, we'll bring up a one of our other designs. You guys might have saw this from one of my events recently on Facebook, but this is like the Paris design. And so basically on this, what we're doing is we're using this black background to block the light of the projection, so that the only thing it projects is what we want it to show on the wall. And people like that's kind of one of the more confusing parts, is they wonder it's about the whole concept behind actually using, do we use black as our background? Do we use white? What are we doing? Really, what we're trying to do is eliminate borders. Instead of having a square box, which, as we can see here, this is kind of this box where this black is, or if I take the background out, this white box is basically the border that our projector would project on the wall. And what we want to do is make it to where there is no border, that it's not perceived as, a 16:9 box on the wall, but it's just perceived as something projecting an image. And that's just what we're using the projectors for. Now, of course, there's those drawbacks to it. And the image, yeah. So the drawbacks to it is that you have to be cautious on what equipment you're going to be using. It's, Source 4s and other, gobo projectors are really powerful lights. They've got a lot, they're really, really bright to be able to, project those images on the wall. And they're also focusable, much like the projectors. And so if you go with a weaker projector, you're going to run yourself into a lot more issues. It's not going to be as bright, or we also run into the same problems as anything else, is that, if you're projecting color, you got to be a little bit cautious about what colors you're projecting, because, red tones and purples and darker colors don't show up nearly as well because we're blocking the light. So how monogram and projectors work. So a couple different ways, obviously, you can project monograms. We have the projector. Some projectors have an option of PC-less presentation, and what that allows you to do is just, put the image, JPEG image or a PNG file onto a memory stick, stick it right in the back of the projector itself, and be able to just show that image right off of the memory stick. No computer, nothing needs to be plugged into it. It's not really as big of a deal anymore when it comes to projectors, because we have media players now that can do the same thing. So you can kind of update any one of your older projectors or projectors that don't have that feature to be able to show those images right there on the screen. So we've got, let's see. Yeah, Michael, the 515 is going to be way too easy to do as far as setting up a brand new one. I want to do something I haven't done before. So I want to show how to, let's see, how to make a brand new slide. We're going to use the Casio XJF 2010. So one of the first steps you're going to end up doing here, let's bring that up, is we're just going to go to Google. XJF 2010 WN. And specs. Let's see what these. It's always best to kind of find out what the native resolution is on the projector. Complete specs. So, like with this one, we've got 1280 by 800. And that's what the projector is capable of projecting. And I think there's going to be two questions you want to ask yourself. Number one, does the projector allow PC-less presentation? And are you going to be doing, Dean, so your projector, does it have PC-less presentation, or do you use a media player to project? The image out of? Because it's going to be that's going to have kind of a big influence on how we design it. Most of the time, while he's responding to that, most of the time what happens is when I start a brand new project, I just hit new. I go over here and make sure, you know, we'll name it our new monogram. And then we just make sure it's we've got our selection under pixels, not like inches or something. And usually, as far as keeping it in the correct dimensions, if you're using a media player, then you can do it by 1920 by 1080 because the projector will convert it anyway. And then resolution, I usually do 300 resolution and RGB color. And the reason that we do RGB color is because if you're gonna save it as a PNG file, you cannot save a file that is like CMYK color. You have to convert it back. So I just usually just start with the RGB, and we hit create, and that basically gives us our first template. Next step I do is we've got this checkerboard pattern, which just shows us that it is a translucent background. We want to change that. Then off to the left side here, we've got our colors. We just click on that. We can actually give us, it's like, how do we get the black? We just come all the way here to the corner, and we'll select our paint bucket, and that gives us our black background. Another kind of tip is going to be off to the left side here. You guys see I've got this ruler on the side here. If you don't see this on your Photoshop, depending on what version you're using, it's gonna be under probably view here, and you'll see a selection which is rulers, and that just toggles on and off. The different versions of Photoshop tend to sometimes have different shortcuts, but like this one's Control R, so if you hold down Control and R, that might toggle it on and off as well. But that's very useful because the next step I do is I usually just, if you click and drag from the ruler, you can put in some guidelines. These don't actually show up on your final image itself, but it'll help you align things. So 1920, we're gonna go 950. 960 there, and 1080, 540, and there. Now we got a crosshairs. So if we do add something in here, then we can at least line it up with these, and it just helps out quite a bit. Especially if we start to open up, like, I don't know, like an image here. We do, so I'll open up this one here. So if I grab like an element from even a different file, say this circle, and that's, oh yeah, I grabbed the whole thing. Let's change that. No, grab the names. And I dumped it in here. One of the things I can do is hit Control T, and that is basically for resizing. But what it also does is you see these little boxes here? That shows me this actual center of the text, and I can line those boxes up with my guidelines as well if I want it completely perfectly centered in the image itself. And then I hit enter and it goes back. The Control T shortcut basically allows you to resize, and you can hold down Shift as you drag this corner, and it'll maintain that ratio. Obviously with text you can also just change the text size itself. So that's basically our just kind of the start to a you can't see anything in Photoshop. It's just a gray brown window. I can't see what you're showing. Oh, really? All right, let's see. Maybe that was old. Can you see it now though? Oh, you don't see anything. Can you guys actually see? Okay, you can see it now. Perfect. Dean, how about you? Ian says, hello, thanks for the new X2 mount. I'll have to catch this on a reply later. Please go around and make the monogram not be pixelated. Thanks. Definitely, I can do that. Most of the time, there could be a couple things. It could be the projector. Is the design pixelated while you're projecting it, or is it pixelated beforehand? If it's pixelated while you're projecting it, there's a good chance it probably is the projector, and that's kind of why I always push. People ask me, it's like, what do you think is the most important thing about using a projector? I'm like, just for the love of God, just get something that's HD. I mean, get something with a native resolution of 1920 by 1080. I was having this battle with a few people in the past few days, and the difficult part of it is that when the difference between something that has, say, like for example, what we just looked at, the Casio that we were just looking at, if he had an issue with pixelization, and he's at 1280 by 800 here, right there, then that might be the issue. You might be projecting an image just way too big for the resolution that projector may be able to do. You're gonna have to do a smaller image. Remember, with projection itself, the number of pixels is set. So the farther back we go, the image is getting bigger because we're just making those pixels bigger. And the farther back we go, the bigger the pixels get, which means that the image quality, that's how it starts to deteriorate. The more, if you've got something with a native resolution of 1920 by 1080, which is the HD, you have twice as many pixels. Actually, yeah, twice as many pixels on that, and it's a huge difference in the way it looks on the wall. All right. So this stuff, how's the streaming itself? Is the streaming itself pixelated, or is there any issues there? You guys said that the sound was good on that. One of my plans right now is that we're kind of building out studio at the house. So with the green screen and lighting and cameras and stuff, so that we'll be able to do a much better. I'll be able to do a much better job at doing some tutorials and stuff. And I think the sound will be a bit better as well. And Projector Central has a listing of just about every projector, including throw calculators. Yeah, I use that quite a bit for tools, to figure out what I need. Like I've got it easy. I mean, it's since I have the Optima, I use the Optima 515, and we still have the Optima 501s. And on Optima's website, they have a really, really nice image, calculator that allows you to figure almost any angle and stuff out, which helps out quite a bit. And if you guys want to know how to do anything in particular with Photoshop, make sure you put your question in there in the chat. See if we can cover it. Before we get off. So yeah, that's the plan. We're gonna do. I want to be able to do not just tutorial videos, but I want to be able to do some live streams like this. Hopefully getting up to doing it weekly, where we're able to just let people ask questions in the chat and be able to go, all right, let's take that one and show you how to do this, whether it's changing something in a design, or even other programs and stuff. We're able to I can bring up Grand VJ and be able to show how to make edits to certain programs or to certain settings and everything. In fact, let's see if how hard it is to bring Grand VJ up on here. Hit OK. Now we're going to go trial. Let's try XT. Ah, insufficient hardware. I had this issue with that before. And I think it's this. It's definitely not the software. It was something else. Might have been the mapping one. Let's try just regular Grand VJ. Yeah, it's the graphics. Why is it doing that? Luckily, the computer we're going to be streaming on is going to be definitely much more powerful. This is an all-in-one MSI, which I love. It's great for the office. Does everything you I need it to, but little issues like that where it's not finding the right options for graphics. How's Monograms doing in your guys' markets? I mean, is it something that you just don't see? Is it something that quite a few people are doing, but maybe, but you're the only one doing it with like projection? What are you guys seeing in different parts of the world? That'll be something I have to figure out how to activate the graphics card. Pretty sure Russia just hacked the speed for a second. Wow, why'd you say that? Did it go all ballistic? They wouldn't allow my program to fire up. That's not fair. See if Vegas will show up here. And it does. That's good. See, and this is kind of shows you how we you can see in here. So we'll make this bigger for you guys. So when if I'm doing a design for someone, you can see like how I have the different layers in here. So we've got our motion background that we start with here. Gives us our stars. And then, depending on the design itself, sometimes I'll go ahead and do, you know, start to add them in layer by layer. If, in this case, what I wanted to be able to do was wasn't sure exactly where I wanted to put some of the elements, so if I needed to move things around, I'm able to do that with the, by having them as separate files. And what you're seeing here, the only difference I did, instead of just designing it all together, is, I'll show you. So like we see Paris here. What I did is I just took the background out, went up to save as, and I'm going to save it as a PNG file. So it just allows us to, PNG files will preserve that background as translucent. So if you're using video editing software that can layer, then you can actually toss it in there. So, and it'll preserve that translucent background. So when we do put it into, whether it be, you know, Vegas for making our monogram ahead of time, or like, it's like, I personally, I don't even make monogram videos ahead of time anymore. I usually do it using Grand VJ at the event, because you can layer anything you want and resize it, at least make it smaller. So resize it and put it into the position that looks best for where you're projecting onto, which helps out quite a bit. And with wireless HDMI, video gone. Is California still here and okay? So it is gone, huh? Is it completely gone? I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it on the stream there. That's a trip. Okay. Can you start segment over? Lost signal. Well, the nice thing is it's going to be everything that'll happen on the, yeah, okay, thank you, it's back. Everything that'll happen on the live stream, basically the whole entire live stream when we do these will be posted as a video. So after, when the live stream ends, it'll automatically upload, and you'll be able to watch the whole thing anytime you want. Went down for a few minutes. Wow. Okay. Good to know. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's why we're messing around and testing things out now. Trying to figure it all out. Yeah, I'm sure it's probably doing a lot. And I'm wondering, do you guys remember if I'll have to go back and see. I'm sure it's probably going to be fixed when it uploads, because it's records the file to the computer, but on the live stream itself, I'm wondering, did it happen to go out like when I started up a new program or anything, like Vegas? I'm wondering if it's a CPU issue. Close those down. Oh, when I started the Paris segment. Yeah, it'll be on the recording, so you'll be able to go back and watch it again. Because I'll leave this up for a little bit, so you guys, if you missed anything, you can watch it when the stream ends. Oh, as soon as I opened Grand VJ, yeah, okay. So yeah, it maybe have something to do with that. Let's try that again, just to see if that's the problem. Grand VJ, we'll open up a program. Hit OK. And we'll try it. It's gonna give us the error because I don't have graphics set up right. Hit OK. And in no way is that a Grand VJ issue. I apologize, Arceus, for using you guys like that. Their program's not crashing. It definitely is the settings on my computer. Oh, yep, lost. Really? Wow. All right. And that's good to know. I have no idea. Let's try. Let's recording. Huh. You're good on my end. Hey, what's going on, Donnie? Good to see you, buddy. I might be seeing you at the Lighting Symposium in 2018. It'll be cool. If you guys want to learn some mapping skills, I think we're going to drop some knowledge on everybody down there. Let's try. See if it does anything here. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So Vegas was open as well. Yeah, let's try. I'm gonna go ahead and looks like it's pretty healthy here. But let's go ahead and open up Vegas and see what happens. And Vegas started. See if it cuts out. Maybe it's too much going on for this poor old processor. Let's see what it's doing. No, it's not bad. I mean, yeah, it's a CPU. Oh, I see. Well, it went black for a second on watching the stream. Boston gone. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if anything, did it cut out or stay in there? I mean, it's probably going to go black. Might have gone black when it first started, but it's maybe I'll have to buy some of John's time and see if he can give me some guidance on all of this as well. Lagged, yeah. Lagged, but not cut out. Yeah. We're using OBS though for the software, so our live stream. Wonder how it will. We'll have to do a test on the main computer when we get the studio finished. But I think that'll be some good times there. All right, let's. I'll give you guys some notice and stuff, and we'll get a regular schedule, so that way everybody knows when it's going to be happening. Is there any times that work best for everyone who's in here right now? When do you think's the best time to jump on? I know some of us have other jobs. Is this time about the right time, or should we do... kind of want to keep it consistent. That way people will be able to... I mean, you'll be able to see it at any time, but if I want to, you know, for people who have questions and they want things explained, then we're able to do that as well. Oh, late, yeah. New York, it's... God, yeah, it would already be getting pretty late. And that's the difference. Well, it's 3 hours ahead. I mean, if... 8 o'clock, or you're lucky if you're either starting dinner or just getting done with it, winding down. In Australia, what time is it in Australia? Poor guy. What are you doing awake? Oh, it's better late for... Okay, yeah. You're a night owl anyway. You're usually... Donnie's usually up at 3 a.m. mapping his latest pair of tennis shoes. You can't get Donnie anything for his birthday or Christmas, because he doesn't go, oh my god, an Xbox. He goes, ooh, let's map this. Let's see what it can do. Do you play with any of the toys you buy, or you just project onto it? You were still frozen? How long were you frozen, Paul? Yeah, go for it, Brad. You can ask any question you want. Usually there's about a 20-second delay in, like, with the video and chat and stuff, so yeah, your Halloween's got to be awesome. I saw some of the photos of last year's Halloween here rocking the neighborhood. We had rain this year, so it was pretty bad. It's hard to get it all set up in time. Brad's got another question coming in before we end the stream, but yeah. So okay, Mike's got a question here. Brad, you type in your question too. So I use Vegas for a lot of stuff. I mean, it's probably gonna glitch out the. Let's see if it glitches out the stream again. As I start it up. I use Vegas for everything from audio editing to video editing. So it's just what I originally learned to use for video editing. And I think it's pretty simple to use. You don't need Vegas Pro to do this. Sony Vegas, I guess they call it Movie Studio, I think. Used to call it, Sony Vegas Platinum. And the main difference is just, the tools available for like mostly videographers. So what we do is just you get the $70-$80 version of Vegas, and works out great. But it allows you to do layering. It just limits you to the number of layers you can do. But I don't think I think it's like 8 or something, that more than you'd ever need anyway with the basic version. And it allows you to render the file as anything. So if I want to render something, I can highlight it, hit render as, and then it gives you all these different selections. So you can make a custom selection, but like as an MP4, QuickTime. There's a lot in here that I never use because it's frankly I don't understand some of them. But it's for certain cameras and stuff, as your and certain files for authoring DVDs as well. So really the difference, I always say go with what you're most comfortable with. I also think that After Effects is an incredibly powerful program. A couple of my monograms are done in After Effects. I know Donnie's got pretty much all of his in After Effects, and the learning curve is a little bit more, I think, on After Effects than some of the other stuff. But nothing's impossible. You just take it one step at a time, and it's amazing. Obviously with YouTube we can pretty much learn how to do anything we want. So it works out really, really well. So yeah, Sony Vegas, great for rendering video, making monograms. Like I said before, Pinnacle Studio I've never used, but I know there's people out there who use it quite a bit. Like I said before, I usually don't make any monogram videos anymore. I just use Grand VJ and layer it in the software. So whatever background I want, I put in there and it loops it for me. It's best media player. So if I'm going to be at the event. If I'm not going to be at the event, then I'll probably take the time to make the video ahead of time. So it works out quite well. So Brad's question was BenQ MW769, is that a good entry-level projector for me to use for monograms? Yeah, you might run into some issues on because I think that if I remember correctly, let's bring up the specs. MW. I know it's one that a lot of people, I used to have it. What did I get wrong? MW769. No, not 7. Maybe it's because it's out of, I think it's it was discontinued, wasn't it? A lot of people use it. I know because I hear about it. And, you know, the main thing is that I ended up getting rid of it just because of the resolution. I was just doing images, you know, way too big to be using that. And, you know, people go, it's like, well, this projector work. Unless I've actually used the projector, I mean, I'm shocked every day. Sometimes, you know, certain projectors are better than others. As long as you stay away from the really off-brand stuff, you're usually in pretty good condition. I mean, it's bright. It's 4,200 lumens. The zoom on it is not quite as good, so you're gonna have, if you want bigger images, you're gonna have to be farther back from the wall, which means you're gonna lose more light. But I wouldn't use that projector for very big images anyway. But it's the, where's this here? But it's just, where are the rest of the specs on this thing? Are you kidding me? All right, let's find the right one. It shows it right here. A few more details. So yeah, if I remember correct, because native resolution is 1280 by 800. So remember, native resolution is what it's capable of producing. And then it says, and this is where I hate companies that do this. And then they say 1600 by 1200 resized. It can project 1600 by 1200 as far as resolution coming out of your laptop, but it's still basically pushing that image through 1280 by 800, you know, resolution. So it's not making it any better. But it does have the horizontal and vertical keystoning. I think it's got the PC-less presentation. And like I said, a lot of people use this for doing monograms. But I do think it's discontinued, so maybe not. I think they replaced it with something else. So if you can get your hands on a refurbished or an older one, you can save some money. The other option, really the only thing missing, like for example, like this one it shows online, and you know, online prices are all different, but this was $1,100, you know, for this same, actually less than that. The Optima 416, which Mike, our friend Michael G here in California, he's got one of the 416s that he uses, and it's HD. You do lose on that. You lose the 4-corner keystone and the PC-less presentation. PC-less presentation you can fix with obviously just a media player, but the 4-corner keystone is quite useful, and you're gonna have to go with like the 515 to get that back with Optima. They've got some other ones, but always be careful with any you know, projector company, because they have a ton of projectors that have, like, you know, even the one I have, the 515, they have the 515, the 515T, the 515 SW, whatever, and in front of that they've got EH515. So I always have to be careful that I include that EH515, because people go, okay, well, I bought the W515. It's like, no, that's the wrong one. That one doesn't have very good resolution either. And so when we're doing larger images on the wall, that resolution comes into play quite a bit. So keep that in mind. $1080. What do you mean? So what's the ideal resolution? Yeah, 1080. Yeah, basically look for that number, native resolution of 1920 by 1080. That honestly is just, why would we have, you know, we're already into 4K now with TVs and stuff, so why are we going backwards when it comes to technology? We want the most resolution possible. When 4K comes out, I can't imagine how I mean, it's out, but it's just out of our reach right now. When it comes to pricing for what we're doing. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate all your guys' help on this. You know, and you know, I'll hopefully I'll get a schedule set up where we can get everything put together and be able to answer a lot more of your guys' questions and have some more topics on this stuff and do some more tutorials. But I'm going to keep posting those. So if you're not already, I'm sure pretty much everybody in here is, you know, subscribe to the channel so you get the alerts when we'll do the live events or when a new video is uploaded. If you guys want to take a look at that, I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you on the next live stream. Take care. Bye.